Armory disc golfers, welcome back to another video. Clash Discs announced the latest innovation in disc technology. Discmania continues to make off-season moves, but the news that wins the day is that MVP just absolutely broke the community's collective ankles. We've got a banger today, so let's jump right into it. Yesterday, Clash Discs released their self-proclaimed biggest news of 2024, which turned out to be a new plastic blend combination thing that they're calling Tone. Definitely looks like they're going for some of that MVP gyro market share with the way that they're marketing this and their double steady stuff, but hopefully this holds up better than their previous gyro attempts, especially at the prices that Clash sells their stuff for. Link to the full post is in the description, but it's time for us to move on from Clash in these news blurbs, who's getting a crazy amount of coverage because they're rumored to land Niklas or Eagle. If this is the biggest thing they have to announce in 2024 though, it's safe to say that the Nordic phenom will be playing elsewhere. Another guy that's playing elsewhere is Alden Harris, who was officially announced with Discmania today. This has been expected for weeks now, but it's still a good addition to the team. I've spoken about Alden plenty, so if you want to hear more thoughts about him and his potential impact, check out this video I put out last week. Discmania wasted no time in getting their plastic in the hands of their new athletes and in front of potential customers by releasing in-the-bag videos for both Gannon and Alden as well. We're going to discuss a few quick hitters there and then discuss the biggest hoodwink in recent disc golf memory with MVP's announcement this morning. First off, taking a look at Gannon's in the bag, he's starting off putting with the D-Line P3X, which confirms what I speculated about in his announcement video, that we are in fact getting a D-Line blend of the P3X. This is definitely an outside the norm choice, and I'm curious to see if Gannon actually sticks with this, because I expect there to be a lot of turnover in his and especially Alden's bag going forward, which we'll talk about in just a minute. A surprise to a lot of people is that Gannon apparently loves the S-Line DD. So as I'm sitting here editing this video, I'm still thinking about how interesting it is that Gannon is throwing a DD, and I rewatched him talking about it, and he says that it flies pretty straight with a slight right movement, and that for AMs it will probably stay straight, and I'm like, that's just not how a DD flies. And then I noticed the flight numbers on this DD versus the flight numbers that Discmania has listed for their DD, and realized this is an old Innova-made DD, and it's a completely different slot. The old Innova-made DD is between the current PD and DD1. It's kind of a unique slot that Discmania doesn't really have anymore. But anyway, the other stuff that I say about this still stands. I just wanted to point that out, that this isn't a quote-unquote real S-Line DD here. I really like seeing pros throw less popular discs because there are so many good ones out there that just don't get their time in the sun because they aren't part of the normal disc golf meta. A great example of this is the Innova Pig. It was released in 2008, and I'm not saying that no one threw it, but it really took off as a popular choice even through to the current day whenever Ricky signed with Innova in 2019 and started chucking them everywhere. Another surprise is the amount of Innova-made Discmania stuff that was featured in Gannon's in the bag. I don't expect Discmania to force Gannon to throw all of their new molds. They want him to compete at the highest level, and if he feels more confident in these molds and these plastics, these runs, whatever, they should allow him to do whatever it is he wants to do. But I think it would have made a lot of sense for them to take an approach of some sort of preliminary in the bag thing, sort of how they did with Alden later on, and then slowly change it up over time, release another in the bag at the beginning of or middle of the season, whatever. It's also interesting to me that the MD1 didn't make an appearance even as some sort of marketing push, because it was one of the 3 discs that Discmania originally marketed as a Gannon Burr feature thing. And on Gannon features, they've also now added the team signing special edition MD5 to their online store, which looks like it's going to drop tomorrow. This will be the first time we've seen these in the swirly S-Line plastic, which is funny because in my last video I specifically mentioned the MD5 and swirly S-Line as 2 of my favorite things that Discmania does. This is obviously clearly a sign that Discmania watches these videos and bases their release off of Nick's personal preferences, so thanks fellas. And thank you for watching too. Don't forget to thumb her up down below and tomahawk that subscribe button, and let's get back to some disc golf news. In Alden's in the bag, Discmania wasted no time at all in getting the crew together for social media promotion. Gavin Babcock immediately came on screen and did his best to keep from saying Prodigy's disc equivalents.
But okay. I do putt link. That's the perfect, the stable beaded putter.
Nice, I like the front.
As he went around the warehouse with Alden, picking out his new teammate's bag. The link to both of those videos will be in the description below if you want to see all of what Gannon and Alden are rocking to start the season. And I am excited to see Gannon and Alden throwing their new discs. It's always interesting to see pros testing out and tweaking their new bags with new lineups, and like I said, it often gets me interested to try out discs that we typically otherwise ignore. Speaking of new lineups, the big news of the day was that MVP absolutely broke the community's ankles with their announcement of the Pixel this morning. To be fair, they did announce the Pixel, but the twist that no one saw coming was that Eagle McMahon was the one who did it. It's not out of the world news that Eagle is signing with Team MVP. We've been chatting about that for a couple weeks now. But the way that MVP did this was awesome. The community was pretty bummed when it was revealed the whole build-up on MVP's Instagram over the last several days pertained to the Pixel, a welcome addition to the lineup, but definitely not on par, no pun intended, with an Eagle McMahon signing. Cue the camera swivel of 2024 to reveal the bird himself standing there in Team MVP regalia. I did find it humorous that for all the build-up about Eagle being the face of streamlined discs, it was the only company not prominently featured in this announcement video or in Simon's accompanying vlog. Simon pushed the question to Eagle.
Answer the question everyone wants to know. Does gyro actually work?
Which makes me think that MVP is being very particular about using Eagle to push their gyro is better narrative. That being said, he could still have his line of discs in streamlined molds, though I'm going to be honest with y'all and express my doubts about that at this point. However, there was a streamlined disc at the bottom of this stack that Eagle was carrying, and though he said he's 95% sure he's going to putt with a Nomad, he did mention the Pilot as a main prospect as a putter. That is of note because Simon specifically mentioned that MVP wanted him to putt with a gyro putter whenever he announced his move to MVP last year. So, I don't know, maybe they're softening their streamlined stance. There's a lot more to be said about that in particular, but we'll get to that in a later video. The Pixel was announced, and we got the news that these are going to be released in a special new run of Electron Soft, which is supposedly going to be significantly softer than previous runs. This is an exciting and welcome addition because I agree with the general consensus that soft and medium have been a bit too close to each other in previous releases. Eagle is also getting a disc, a Prism Proton Envy with a gnarly Phoenix-inspired stamp. Some people have complained about another Envy release, but one, this is the first wide-scale offering of the Envy in this plastic type, and two, Envies are amazing. I'm immediately putting this in the bag as soon as I open an orange one, and I'm going to be opening up a lot of them because ArmoryDiscGolf.com is loading up on these alongside the Pixels, Blank White Fission and Neutron Craves and Waves, and a whole bunch of MVP goodies that have been out of stock for a hot minute. Pre-orders are available now at ArmoryDiscGolf.com. Head over there and lock these down at the lowest price you'll find, and thanks as always for the support. Eagle is still hurt, which sucks. Didn't stop him from throwing left-handed bombs and drawing metal on his first ever shot on Team MVP with his new commemorative disc. This whole thing is just so freaking cool. Speaking of cool, we got to see more Proton and Fission time-lapse shots, and you can sign me all the way up for some of those whenever they drop. We talked about the Crush Boys thing for Discmania in the last video, but the topic was also brought up by Simon in this latest vlog. I don't know if Discmania has the rights to that nickname or how that works, but do you think the Crush Boys should continue, or do you think they should have a new MVP nickname, assuming they can continue? MVP inked Eagle on for 5 years, so they've got plenty of time to figure it out and market it. If you haven't watched Simon's vlog yet, get over there and enjoy the full thing. I hope it puts a big dumb doofus smile on your face, the same way it did mine. Today is actually my birthday. Eagle and Simon getting back together has been a wonderful gift, as has having y'all along to chat with about the disc golf offseason. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm already excited to see what'll come next, and I'm also excited to see you in the next one.